we're living in unprecedented times. And by unprecedented, I'm talking about, the technological advancements surrounding us. And something that's spiked my interest more is AI. Now, I'm going to talk about ChatGPT and how it affects movies. Now, you might be one of a million people who've experimented with and messed around with ChatGPT. Or maybe you read an article about it. Who knows? So, in case you don't know about ChatGPT, basically it's a chatbot that's been established by OpenAI. Now, one of its primary functions is to talk to you. And, given the prompt, it is meant to respond to it with an answer. Like, you could ask it 1 + 1, and it can be your calculator. You could, ask it to write a story, and it can be your screenplay writer. Now, here's something that us movie pundits know better than anyone else, and it's how a movie is made. It all begins with the genesis of production, if you will, the writing process. Now, something you need to know about the writing process is that it is a collaboration effort. And, it's a bunch of writers, just as you probably picture it, sitting in a room and, scribbling stuff on the whiteboards and thinking about what story would be the most, what story is going to, first and foremost, how is the story going to appeal to the general audience? Here's how a chatbot would align with such an equation. This Sunday morning, I went on ChatGPT again, and I asked it to write me a Star Wars sequel. Now, long story short, after, prompting it, and by the way, ChatGPT has an extremely, broad memory. So after some back and forth and what have you, it wrote me a much more compelling, overview of a Star Wars sequel than Disney ever has. And that's saying a lot. But it also poses a fascinating dilemma. Now, I'm not talking about a, social dilemma, an ethical dilemma, an economic dilemma. I'm not saying, it's the matter of whether or not a robot is going to take your job. The real question is, can it take your job? For instance, what if The Fabelmans, directed by Steven Spielberg, was written by a chat AI? Sammy Fabelman is essentially Steven Spielberg, only that their names have been changed. And this, this raises a question of, does a ChatGPT have the ability to read Steven Spielberg's mind? No. I don't think an AI is that advanced yet. Or maybe it might not ever be. Who knows? So, just to conclude this little video, I think that ChatGPT does not really affect the production of good movies. But I think it could turn a bad story upside down and point you in the right direction.